The market was alive with color and sound. Women balanced basins on their heads. Pyramids of red tomatoes and orange peppers lined the stalls. Voices called out prices. Laughter mixed with clucking of chickens and the distant beat of drums. It was a normal Friday morning in the market until it wasn't. A voice cut through the noise, sharp, angry, accusing. Thief! This woman is a thief. The market went silent. Every head turned. Adjoa stood frozen, her hands still resting on a basket of yams. Her voice shook as she spoke. What? I paid for these. The accuser stepped closer. Kofi, a wealthy trader, his face twisted with rage. You paid? Then where is my money? My wife saw you take those yams without paying. Before Adjoa could respond, Kofi's wife pushed forward. I saw it with my own eyes, she declared. She thought no one was watching. Gasps rippled through the crowd. Whispers spread like wildfire. One market woman muttered to another, Adjoa, a thief? I can't believe it. Another whispered back, she has 3 children to feed. Times are hard. But Adjoa's voice rose, desperate now. I paid. I gave the money to your son at the stall. Kofi's voice grew louder, more aggressive. My son? My son isn't even here today. Now you add lies to theft? The crowd closed in. Adjoa backed against the stall, trapped. Then another voice, strong, protective, cut through the chaos. Her husband, Kwame, pushing through the crowd. That's my wife you're accusing. Be careful of what you say. Kofi's chest puffed out. His voice dripped with contempt. Then, your wife is a thief and you defend criminals. Hands raised. Voices escalated. The market erupted. Then, a single word. Powerful. Commanding. Enough! Elder Mensah. Silence fell like a curtain. The old man's voice was calm but absolute. This matter will be brought before Nana Akosua, the Queen Mother. She will hear all sides. She will decide what is just. Adjoa's face, terrified, disbelieving, froze in that moment. Her world had just shattered, and there was nothing she could do but wait. In many African communities, when conflict arises, we don't just ask who's guilty, we ask deeper questions. Why did this happen? What does the community need? How do we heal what's been broken, not just punish what's been done? This is the story of a market day accusation, a Queen Mother's wisdom, and an ancient philosophy called Ubuntu. I am because we are. Welcome to the Afro Tales with Kemi, where African stories are told slowly, honestly, and with meaning. So sit back, open your heart, and walk with me through today's tale, told as always, the African way. I am Kemi Iwalesi. This is the story of how wisdom proved stronger than anger, and mercy became the truest form of justice. Adjoa was not a wealthy woman. Her husband Kwame worked as a day laborer and she sold vegetables in the market 3 times a week to help feed their 3 children. Money was tight, but Adjoa was honest. Everyone in the community knew this. Adjoa counting coins from a small cut pouch. 50 cedis for yams, 20 for tomatoes, 50 for palm oil. That leaves 30 for tomorrow's rent. She sighs. Kwame kissing her forehead. We'll manage. We always do. Adjoa said, we always do. What Adjoa didn't know was that this market day would test everything she believed about her community and what her community believed about justice. The market was where life happened, where women negotiated prices with the skill of diplomats, where news traveled faster than the wind, where reputations were made and destroyed in a single transaction. Adjoa approaches Kofi's large yam stall. Good afternoon, Brother Kofi. How much for half a basin of yams? Kofi is busy with another customer, waves dismissively. 50 cedis. My son will help you. Yo! A young boy, maybe 10 years old, appears from behind the store. Yes, auntie, half basin? Adjoa counting yams into her basket. Yes, please. She counts out 50 cedis carefully, one by one, and hands them to Yo. Here, 50 cedis. Please tell your father. Yo, taking the money. Yes, auntie. He puts the coins in his pocket and runs off, a child on an errand. Adjoa continued her shopping. Tomatoes, peppers, palm oil, everything she needed for the week. She didn't know that in 10 minutes, her entire life would change. Suddenly, Kofi's voice booms across the market. Thief! That woman is a thief! Market freezes. Everyone turns. Adjoa stops, confused, looks around, then realizes he's pointing at her. Adjoa shocked. Me? What are you talking about? Kofi stormed toward her, his face terrible. Those yams in your basket, you didn't pay for them. Adjoa, I did pay. I gave the money to your son, 50 cedis. Kofi, my son? My son isn't even at the market today. He's at school. Adjoa's face goes pale. Her mouth opens, closes. She whispered, but the boy, he was right there. Amma, Kofi's wife, stepping forward. I was watching the store while my husband was busy. I saw you take those yams. I saw you walk away without paying. Market women crowd closer. A mix of shock, pity, judgment. Market woman 1. Adjoa will never steal. Market woman 2. But she's been struggling. Maybe desperation. Market woman 3. We've all been tempted when times are hard. Kwame pushing through. My wife is not a thief. There's been a mistake. Kofi, aggressive. The only mistake is her thinking she could steal from me. Elder Mensa, stepping between them, authoritative. Enough! This shouting solves nothing. He turned to face the crowd. This is a serious accusation. Theft destroys trust. But false accusation destroys reputations. Both are poison to community. This matter will be brought before Nana Akosua, the Queen Mother. Tomorrow, at sunrise, all parties will gather at her compound. She will hear the truth. She will decide what is just. Adjoa freezes, tears streaming, clutching her basket, Kwame's arm around her. That night, Adjoa couldn't sleep. In their small compound, an oil lamp flickered. The children slept peacefully, unaware of the storm hanging over their family. While Adjoa sat in the darkness, staring at nothing. Her voice was broken when she finally spoke. What if no one believes me? What if the Queen Mother thinks I'm lying? Kwame sat beside her, steady as always. You are not lying. The truth will come out. Adjoa's fear poured out like water from a cracked pot. I can't prove it. That boy, he just disappeared. Maybe it wasn't even Kofi's son. Maybe I was so distracted I gave the money to the wrong child. She dropped her head into her hands. If the Queen Mother declares me a thief, we will be shamed, driven from the market. How will we feed our children? Kwame took her hands, firm, starting. Nana Akosua is wise. She doesn't just listen to words. She listens to hearts. She'll say the truth. But even as he spoke those words, fear flickered behind his eyes. Because they both know the truth. In a small community, an accusation alone can ruin you, even if you are innocent. At sunrise, the community gathered. The Queen Mother's compound was beautiful in the morning light. Red earth swept clean, whitewashed walls, carved wooden stools arranged in a circle under a light spreading tree. This was where justice would be decided. But not just for those involved. Everyone came. Because in Ubuntu Philosophy, when one person is accused, the whole community stands trial. When one person suffers, we all feel the pain. I am because we are. Adjoa and Kwame arrived early, anxious, holding hands. Kofi and Ama came confident, certain of the accusation. Market women whispered to each other. Elders stood solemn and watchful. And then the Queen Mother emerged. Nana Akosua. She was not a leader by title alone. She had earned that position through decades of wisdom, through judgments that considered not just law, but life. Not just guilt, but context. She wore traditional kente cloth, each color chosen with meaning. Gold for royalty, blue for peace, red for the blood that connected them all as one people. She sat on her stool, carved with Adinkra symbols, and the gathering fell silent. Her voice was strong but warm. We are gathered because our community's peace has been disturbed. An accusation has been made. Trust has been broken. Whether through theft or through false witness, we will discover. But let us remember, we do not gather to destroy. We gather to heal. We do not seek vengeance. We seek understanding. Now, who brings this accusation? Kofi stood, puffed with self-righteousness. I do, Nana. This woman, Adjoa, stole yams from my store. She took a half basin without paying. My wife witnessed it. The Queen Mother's eyes were steady on him. And you are certain of this? Completely certain, Nana. I keep careful account of my goods. Yams were missing. My wife saw her take them. Nana Akosua turned to Ama. You saw this with your own eyes? Ama stood, assured and confident. Yes, Nana. I was watching the store. I saw Adjoa select yams, put them in her basket, and walk away. She didn't come to pay. Did you call out to her? Stop her? For the first time, Ama hesitated. I was about to, but then she was already leaving. By the time I told my husband, she was gone. The Queen Mother turned to Adjoa. And what do you say, child? Adjoa stood, trembling but dignified. Nana, I did take the yams, but I paid for them. I gave 50 cedis to a young boy who was at the store. He said he was Kofi's son. Kofi scoffed. Lies. My son was at school. But Adjoa's voice, though breaking, was firm. I'm not lying, Nana. There was a boy. He was maybe 10 years old. I counted the money into his hand. I paid. Nana Akosua leaned forward. This boy, describe him. Adjoa closed her eyes, remembering. Thin, wearing a blue shirt, faded, shorts, bare feet, a small scar above his left eyebrow. Murmurs rippled through the crowd. One market woman whispered to another, that sounds like you're the street boy who runs errands. The Queen Mother's sharp ears caught it. Speak up. Who do you think this is? The first woman stood. Nana, there's a boy who comes to the market. Yo. He has no family. He does small jobs for traders. Carries loads, run messages for a few coins. Elder Mensa, stroking his beard, nodded. I know this child. He's clever, quick, survives by his wits. Nana Akosua turned to Kofi. Do you sometimes hire this boy? Now Kofi was uncomfortable. Well, yes, sometimes. When I'm busy, I ask him to watch the store for a moment. But not yesterday. Yesterday he wasn't there. Are you certain? Kofi's certainty was crumbling. I was very busy. Many customers. But surely I would have noticed. The Queen Mother's voice was quiet, cutting. Would you? Or you were too busy to see who was watching your goods while you negotiated your profits? Silence. Kofi shifted uncomfortably. Then Nana Akosua stood. Her presence commanding. Bring me the boy, Yo. Find him and bring him here. Elder Mensa nodded. Two young men left immediately. We will wait, the Queen Mother said. And they did. For 2 hours, they waited. The sun climbed higher. People shifted. Tension built. In the silence, Adjoa prayed. Kwame held her hand. Kofi's confidence began to waver. Amma whispered anxiously to her husband. The market women watched. The elders observed, and the Queen Mother sat still as a stone, waiting for truth. Finally, movement at the compound entrance. The young men returned. Between them, they gently led a scared, skinny boy. Yo. He was terrified, trying to pull away. I didn't do anything wrong, I swear. Nana Akosua's voice was gentle but firm. No one is accusing you, child. We only want to ask you questions. Come, sit here. She patted a small stool near her. Yo sat, ready to bolt at any moment. What is your name? Yo, Nana, he whispered. Yo, do you know this woman? She gestured to Adjoa. Yo looked. Recognition flashed across his face. Then fear. I. Nana Akosua's voice was soft but insistent. The truth will not harm you, child. Did you see this woman yesterday at the market? A long pause. Yours eyes darted around, looking for escape. Finally, barely a whisper. Yes, Nana. Adjoa gasped with relief. You remember. But the Queen Mother raised her hand for silence. Let the child speak. Yo, what happened? His voice shook as he spoke. Uncle Kofi was very busy. Many customers. He called me over, asked me to watch the store for a few minutes while he attended to someone. The lady came, asked for yams. I helped her fill her basket. She gave me money. Kofi erupted. Then where's the money? If she paid you, where is it? Yo flinched, pulled into himself. Nana Akoswa's voice was sharp. Lower your voice, Kofi. You frightened the child. She turned back to Yo, infinitely patient. The money, Yo. What happened to it? And then Yo's face crumbled. Tears started. The words came out in sobs. I was hungry, Nana. I haven't eaten in 2 days. I saw a woman selling kenke. It smelled so good. I thought Uncle Kofi had so much money, so many yams. He wouldn't miss 50 cedis. I used the money to buy food. Gasps from the crowd. You're desperate now. I was going to replace it. I was going to work and earn it back. I was going to. He broke down completely. The truth had been spoken. Silence. The weight of the truth settled over the gathering. Then Kofi turned to Adjoa, triumphant. You see? The boy admits it. You paid him, not me. That's the same as not paying at all. We are still responsible. Kwame stood angry. How is she responsible for a child stealing? Ama chimney. But our money is gone. Stolen. Someone must pay. Voices rose. The argument was brewing again. And then, enough! Nana Akoswa stood. Silence fell immediately. She surveyed the gathering. Her gaze fell on each person in turn. When she spoke, her voice carried the weight of wisdom. Before I speak of justice, let me speak of truth. Because sometimes the deepest truth is not about who did what. It's about why. She walked to Adjoa. Adjoa, you paid for the yams in good faith, with money you could not afford to lose. You did nothing wrong. Adjoa sighed with relief. Kwame supported her. Nana Akoswa turned to Kofi and Ama. Kofi, Ama, you accused an innocent woman publicly before verifying your facts. Before seeking understanding, you chose anger over patience. Your yams were not stolen. Your money was. By a child. A child who was so hungry he saw no other choice. She walked to Yo. And despite her age, she knelt to his level. Yo, you took what was not yours. You know this was wrong. Through tears. Yes, Nana. Do you know why it was wrong? Because it was stealing. Yes. But also because you harmed someone who did not deserve harm. Adjoa paid in good faith. Because of your action, she was called a thief. Her reputation was damaged. Her children cried because their mother was accused. Do you understand this? Yo nodded miserably. Nana Akoswa stood. She addressed the entire gathering. Now, we must decide what is just. Some will say, punish the boy, make him pay back the money, maybe beat him to teach him a lesson. Some will say, punish Kofi and Ama, make them apologize publicly, make them pay compensation to Adjoa. But I ask you, will punishment heal what has been broken here? She let the question hang in the air. A child stole because he was hungry. Is hunger a crime? A couple accused falsely because they didn't verify. Is human error a crime? A woman was wronged though she did nothing wrong. Should she carry that pain forever? Where is the healing in punishment alone? She returned to her stool. This is my judgment. You will work at Kofi's store 3 hours a day for 1 month. You will earn the 50 cedis to replace what you took. Not as punishment, but so you learn the value of honest work. And Kofi, you will pay this child for his work the same rate you pay other helpers, because the goal is not slavery, it's restoration. Kofi and Ama, you will apologize to Adjoa. In this gathering, in the market, wherever your accusation was heard, there your apology must be heard. And you will give Adjoa 50 cedis, the money she paid that was lost through your carelessness in hiring a child without proper supervision. Adjoa, you will use 25 of those cedis to buy food for you for 1 month, so that he never again has to steal to eat. The remaining 25 you will keep for your trouble, for the pain this accusation caused. Murmurs of approval rippled through the crowd. Kofi struggled with his pride, but he saw the wisdom. Nana, yes, you are wise. We will do as you say. He turned to Adjoa. That apology was hard, but genuine. Adjoa, I was wrong. I accused you without proof, without patience, without sticking truth. I have shamed you and your family. I ask for your forgiveness. Ama stepped forward. I too was wrong. I thought I saw, but I did not see clearly. I spoke with certainty about what I only assumed. I am sorry. Adjoa's eyes filled with tears, but not tears of pain this time. I forgive you. She turned to Yo, and you will eat. From today, you will not go hungry again. Yo broke down sobbing, not from fear this time, but from relief. Nana Akosua spoke the final words. This is Ubuntu. I am because we are. When Yo was hungry, we all failed him. When Adjoa was accused, we all felt the wound. When trust was broken, we all suffered. So now, we all heal together. Not through punishment that divides, but through restoration that reunites. One month later, the market looked the same, but everything had changed. Yo stood at Kofi's stall, carefully arranging yams. His voice rang out loud and clear. Fresh yams, best price in the market, Uncle Kofi's yams. Kofi watched with a small smile. To a customer he said, "That's my best worker. Sharp boy. Honest." Kofi had learned something. That the child he'd hired carelessly was capable, trustworthy when given the chance. It offered Yo a permanent position, 3 days a week, fair wages. Across the market, Adjoa had her own small stall now. With the money Kofi had given her and the restoration of her reputation, she had been able to expand. Women who had whispered about her now bought from her because the Queen Mother had declared her innocent, and her word was law. One market woman approached smiling. "Sister Adjoa, your tomatoes look beautiful today." Adjoa responded with warmth, with forgiveness in her voice. "Thank you, sister. Best price for you." Then Amma appeared, hesitant. "Adjoa, may I buy some peppers?" Adjoa's warmth was genuine. "Of course. Here, take these. They are the sweetest." As Amma paid, their hands touched. Eye contact, understanding passed between them. "Thank you," Amma said quietly, "for forgiving us." Adjoa smiled. "We are all human. We all make mistakes. What matters is that we make them right." This was the power of restorative justice. Not to punish until everyone was broken, but to heal until everyone was whole. From her compound, Nana Akosua watched the market. She has seen this pattern many times. Communities torn by accusation, divided by anger, destroyed by the need for vengeance. But she has also seen what happened when wisdom replaced rage. When the question changed from who will pay to how do we heal, Elder Mensah joined her. The boy thrives. The woman's business grows. Even Kofi has learned humility. Nana Akosua nodded. Because we remembered what justice truly is. Not punishment, restoration. Not isolation, community. Not revenge, Ubuntu. Elder Mensah smiled. "I am because we are. And when we are healed," Nana Akosua replied, "I am healed too." Joe had become part of Adjoa's family. Not officially, but in the way that mattered. He ate dinner with them 3 times a week. He played with their children. He called Adjoa auntie with real affection. The woman he had accidentally wronged had become his protector. This was Ubuntu in action. One evening, as Yor helped Adjoa stir a pot, he spoke softly. "Auntie, when I earn enough money, I want to buy you something to say thank you." Adjoa smiled. "You don't need to buy me anything, Yor. But you feed me. You defended me to the Queen Mother. You could have been angry." Adjoa knelt to his level. Her voice was gentle. "Anger would have changed nothing. You were hungry. I understand hunger. I have 3 children to feed. I know what it's like to count every coin. What you needed wasn't punishment. You needed food. And someone to show you that you matter." Yor's eyes filled with tears. "I matter? You matter because we are all connected. Your pain is my pain. Your healing is my healing. I am because we are." She hugged him. And in that embrace was everything the world often forgets. That justice without mercy is just revenge wearing a crown. That punishment without restoration is just pain multiplied. That in breaking one person, we break the community. But in healing one person, we heal everyone. The philosophy of Ubuntu teaches us something the modern world is only beginning to understand. That we are not separate individuals competing for justice. We are interconnected beings, and the harm done to one affects us all. When we punish without seeking to understand, we create more harm. When we seek revenge instead of restoration, we perpetuate cycles of pain. But when we ask, how do we heal what's broken? Instead of how do we break what's wrong, we discover something transformative. We discover that the woman who was wronged can become the boy's protector. That the accuser can become humble. That the community that was divided can be reunited. This is the wisdom our ancestors understood. This is Ubuntu. I am because we are. And when we are whole, we all rise together. This is Ubuntu. I am because we are. Justice that does not heal is just revenge wearing a crown. But mercy that seeks restoration, that is how communities rise together.
When the drum speaks, Africa remembers. When stories rise.